two definitions, node and junction. First, we have to be very clear when we talk about node and junction. Junction is any point where two branches are meeting. And node is what? Node is having some specific definition. It is also a meeting point of branches, but the number of branches must be minimum 3. So if 3 branches are meeting at any point, that point is known as node. If 2 branches are meeting, that point is known as junction. Okay, so this is the difference between node and junction. Now, the name shows nodal analysis. It means I have to apply this method wherever 3 branches, more than 3 branches are meeting. Okay, that is why it is known as nodal analysis. But you have to notice that in mesh analysis, we have applied Kirchhoff's voltage law. Ultimately, we have applied Kirchhoff's voltage law, or it is best suited for the circuit where number of voltage sources are connected. It means if we are considering here nodes, we are talking about nodes. So there must be the KCL procedure has been used. So yes, we apply Kirchhoff's current law in terms of nodal analysis. So let's see how we apply Kirchhoff's current law in nodal analysis method. So we'll take one example, a very simple example. Now, step number 4, we'll solve this equation step by step. Step number 1 says recognize number of nodes in the given circuit. So, can we recognize here? Yes, this is the junction. This is more than 3 branches. Okay, this is node. Yes, this is junction. Complete branch is common. I may connect this complete branch in this way. There is no issue. So it becomes my node. Yes, and 2 nodes. So here 2 nodes are there. N1, N2. Okay. Step number 2 says. Now step number 2 says. Next step is design or make any one of the nodes as a reference node. Reference node or zero voltage node. Zero voltage node. What it is? Why we need it? Most important question. See, in nodal analysis, you will see we have to work on the node. And if we go back and go to the KCL statement, what that KCL statement says? KCL statement says at any node, current will not be dropping. Whatever current is coming to that particular node, it will eject from that particular node. It will move out from that particular node. So now we have to apply somewhere KCL equation across each or every node. On the point of node, we have to apply Kirchhoff's current law. So when we talk about current, the flow of current. So we all know that current can only flow whenever the loop is closed. Across any open branch, across any open terminal, whenever it finds very high resistance, it won't flow. So to build the flow of current, first the circuit should be completely set up, completely closed. So whenever we talk about complete closed circuit, it means when the positive terminal is the starting point, the ending point must be the negative point. And what is negative point in our case? We can see the negative point is the ground terminal or the last terminal of my energy source. So that is why, because we see in the practical applications, in our domestic application also, number of electronic components, every electronic component should have its own ground. And number of electronic components can be combinedly connected with a common ground pin, with a common ground terminal. One single common is there, a single common ground is there, and number of terminals, number of devices, negative terminal can be attached with that particular single point. That particular single point is known as the reference node or the ground node. And ground is basically known because it is having voltage 0. It is the negative terminal. So to start the flow of current, To start the flow of current, we have to end it to the negative point, because whenever current starts flowing, it has to end up on the zero terminal. It has to end up with a negative terminal. That's why we every time we talk about at least one zero node or reference node in a circuit wherever all branches are connected together. So suppose here my bulb is connected. Suppose here my TV is connected. Suppose here my other components are connected, and let's say all are digital. And just for the sake of example, let's take all components are digital. Every digital component need a ground terminal. Okay, so every component should be connected, may be connected with a common ground, because making a ground for each or every device individually is something very complicated. So we can make a common ground. We can connect the ground with each or every component other terminal. One terminal with a positive, second terminal with a negative. So this point is considered as negative terminal or reference node. So we can say it as a reference. So while assuming the nodes, suppose here I'm using two nodes. I'm having two nodes. So one of the nodes should be assigned completely as a reference node. And for the convenience, we can't make this node as a reference node because current is entering into it. The whole circuit is connected here. You can see this current is also entering. So I can't make it zero. But yes, I can make this a ground terminal which is connected with the negatives of any battery. I can make this as a reference or the zero voltage node. So I'll consider it as a zero voltage node. So the voltage at this node is always equals to zero. Now, in other terms, we can see current can only flow when the loop is closed. So in this way, we close this loop. We close this loop. We close this loop. So if I start from this, I should end on this. If I start from this, I should through this group, this branch, I should end here. Through this branch, I should end here. So this must be the end point. How we represent in our electrical science? By three ground lines. The largest one, the small, and then smallest. So this is a way of representing a reference node. Voltage equals to zero. Now step number 3 says assign voltage, unknown voltage obviously, at every node. Okay, so how many nodes? Two nodes. Among two, I have already considered zero at this, so left with only one. So now assuming here, let's say the voltage is V1. Let's assume it as a V1. Okay, now what else we have to follow? Every time we have to follow all those steps. We cannot skip any step in between because these are very like pre-decided or hierarchically they are designed. So this must be after this and after this. You cannot make reference node after putting V1. So reference first design, then only we can apply this. Because what this represent my voltage is here plus, and already I have mentioned in my previous step that negative is connected. So ground is this, positive is this, and with respect to this plus and this minus, I need to apply Kirchhoff's Kirchhoff's current law. Step number 4. Now applying Kirchhoff's current law at each node. How can I apply? At each node. To apply this, to applying this KCL, first I need to assume the flow of current. So let's take I1 is flowing in this way, entering into this, I2 is leaving from this, I3 you can see the direction, let's take this. Okay, so applying at each node. So here applying at N1 node. So what I get? I1 plus I3 is equals to I2. Why it is so? Because you can see two currents are entering, one current is leaving. So entering current, I'm considering those as positive. Leaving current, I'm considering as negative. That is why. So how can we measure these I1, I2, I3? This is very important. How we measure? I think you must remember the potential difference concept, which you have studied in 11th or 12th class. Let's say I'm having voltage VA and VB here. One resistance is connected. This must be the branch of any complicated circuit wherever the branch of the voltage at this terminal is something, voltage at this terminal is something. In between, one resistance is connected. So I know that the current which is flowing through this would be definitely depending on VA and VB. This is what known as voltage difference. Okay. So the current which is flowing through this particular branch is difference of these two voltage, because my current starts from VA. So by default, I have to consider that VA is greater than V2. VA is greater than VB. So VA higher potential minus lower potential divided by R. So this is the potential difference divided by resistance is my current. Because current is having the property, it's having in the nature, current is always flowing from higher potential to lower potential. Okay. So higher potential, or in other terms, we know that until we are not approaching VB, how can we know the voltage of VB is greater than VA? So VA is greater than, because we have started from there. So VA minus VB upon R. Or if it is not, if VA is not greater than VB, ultimately this I becomes negative. Okay. So first from where we have started, we always consider that we know that VA, but we are not aware about the destination voltage. That's why we consider this. So in similar way, we have to apply current equation here. So how can we apply? You can see here, what is I1? See, these are 2 points. This is plus point, this is minus point. Okay. Between these 2 points, I have to find I1, I2, and I3. So how can I apply? This is my known voltage VA, right now printed as V1, but I don't know how much voltage is this, but V1, but I know this voltage. This must be definitely 0. In between, I can say one other voltage is connected. Okay. So this must be my higher voltage, and this is maybe lower, but it's right now it's unknown. So this is my known voltage, which I consider greater. This is my unknown voltage. So how can I write equation for I1? Known voltage from where I started minus unknown voltage divided by 2. Okay. Now plus again, this is known 5. This is unknown right now. 5 minus V1 divided by 1 equals to, this is very simple. I know V1 must be, V1 should be definitely greater than 0, because 0 is the ground level. So this must be 0.1, 0.51 greater than 0, any integer part, any integer. So any integer definitely greater than 0. So by default, I should consider V1 minus 0 divided by 3 by 0, because this is 0. Or you can write it this way. Okay. And ultimately it is V1 minus 0 by 3. So this is the equation through which we can measure the V1 voltage. This task, I must give this task to you. Once you get this V1, measure the values of I1. How much I1? I1 ki value, you can see that 15 minus V1 divided by 2, calculated. I2 is, sorry, V1 upon 3, and I3 5 minus V1 divided by 1. So measure all these current value, and this is way we can apply nodal analysis method. I must give one numerical for this nodal analysis method. Every time in nodal analysis, we have to keep in the mind that we should be aware from where the current started, and the terminal from where the current started is always having greater potential, because we are not aware about the destination potential. If it is greater, ultimately current becomes negative. Okay. So if I give you one example, one question. For the sake of simplicity, question is, calculate the power across the. Okay. So this is the way we can measure by using nodal analysis or mesh. Apply. Question is mesh analysis, question 1, and by question 2, nodal analysis. Mesh analysis, again calculate let's take some other parameter. Through mesh analysis, calculate I. And so this nodal analysis calculates P. We know I is what flowing through this 2 ohm resistance. What is P? Drop across this. So once you know the value of I, apply it. P is equals to VI or I square R. You can get the value of P. So this is question number 1. This is question number 2. Use by using mesh and nodal analysis both the way. How you apply mesh analysis? Step number 1 says, let me recall. Step number 1 says, recognize number of smallest closed loop in the circuit. So yes, I can recognize 1, 2, 3. Smallest, inside which there is no other closed path. Now, next step of mesh, recognize, assume the flow of current. You have to assume it. Okay. While assumption, take the parameters, take the assumption should be realistic. After assumption, apply Kirchhoff's voltage law. It means I must be having equation number 1, 2, and 3. 3 equations, apply Cramer's rule, solve those equations, get the values of I1, I2, I3. And if you get the value of I, you can tell me what is the value of I across this. And remember, this 2 is the common branch of this and this loop. Okay, this and this mesh. So you have to calculate the value of current of this mesh and this mesh also. Then the value I comes. Okay. Now nodal analysis says recognize number of nodes in a circuit. This is also a node, 3 branches meeting, 3 branches meeting, 3 branches meeting, 3 branches meeting. So I may take this as this. There is no issue. And I may take it as negative. I need one reference now, because if I consider plus here, V1 voltage, V2 voltage, V3. If the positive terminals of voltage connected there, so where should we connect the negative terminal of voltage supply? We need to have one ground terminal. Okay, so plus is connected here, so minus is connected here. Plus is connected here, so minus should be here. And then similarly, V3 is here, then minus should be here. So we have 3 nodes, 1 node, 2 node, 3 node. Okay, apply equations on each node. This is equals to 0. And you can measure the values of current and voltage in this way. Okay, so apply mesh analysis, calculate the current I, apply nodal analysis, calculate the value of P here.